So today, day 1 of Polity. Okay. So in day 1 of Polity, 6th class NCERT. In 6th class NCERT, what were the questions asked and how to solve it, we will be discussing about. And one more thing I want to tell you that, see, 6th class NCERT means we are asking questions. Basically, my subject, Polity, I am asking from NCERT itself. So the level of the standard of questions will increase eventually. Means when we go into the subject of polity and history from January onwards, the standard as per 6th means 6th class standard only the questions will be there. So coming to the first question. The first question, consider the following statements about the Panchayati Raj system in India. So in Panchayati Raj system in India, what are the questions, what are the topic present in 6th class NCERT? It's a system of rural local government. See, first you have to understand, local self-government means two varieties of local self-governments are there. One is called as rural self-government, other is called as urban self-government. So two different varieties of local self-governments. So they asked or they want to give information to the 6th class students that whether you know that local self-government means rural local self-government and urban local self-government. So it's about Panchayati Raj system. So Panchayati Raj system, it is a rural local government, it is responsible for urban planning, it allows for direct election of the head of the village. So again you have to understand, see, it is a system of rural local government, A statement is correct. It allows for direct election of the head of the village, it seems to be same. It is responsible for urban planning, but I will tell you, see, it allows for direct election of the head of the village. In 73rd Constitutional Amendment Act itself, there are two varieties of elections. One variety of elections is ward members will be elected and the ward members will be electing the sarpanch. Like ward members will be called as Gram Panchayat and these ward members will be electing the sarpanch, or else there will be direct elections for sarpanch. So two varieties of elections will happen. So it allows for direct election of the head of the village. 100%, it's correct only. But if in case in examination, if it asks that, it 100% allows, understand this, it 100% allows for the election of the head of the village. Head of the village is elected only by the people, then that statement will be wrong. If it is only or 100%, then the statement will be the wrong. Why? Because two varieties will be there. One variety is directly, now in January month, elections for sarpanch, local self-government elections are scheduled in Telangana state. For example, I am telling you. In January month 2024, in Telangana state, local self-government elections are scheduled. So what? Sarpanch and ward members will be elected. So in sarpanch and ward members, in Telangana state, for example, as an example, ward members will be elected as well as sarpanch will be elected. Both will be directly elected by the people. But whereas some other states, like when we talk about Maharashtra, in that particular state, ward members will be elected and the ward members will be choosing sarpanch. Like our own government, indirect democracy, whereby the people will be electing the MLAs and the MLAs will be electing the chief minister. People will be electing the MPs and MPs will be electing the prime minister. Whereas in America, people will be electing the president. So two types of systems are there. One is direct democracy, other is indirect democracy. Indirect democracy means in middle, one person will be, few people will be elected, few people will be choosing the leader. Like India. That is the reason we call India is not a direct democracy, it's a indirect democracy. But whereas in America, there will be direct elections to the president and the president will be elected by the people. So two varieties will be there, means you have to understand, it can be a 6th class NCERT book, but you have to understand that it allows for direct elections of the head of the village, correct. But if the same statement is written like this, head of the village is elected only by the people, only by direct elections. If the word is only, in prelims examination, we have to wait if there is a word called as only. In prelims examination, we have to wait if the question is incorrect. So you have to understand that there is a googly type of ball is coming up. So we have to wait. So answer is A and C. But if the same question here only is mentioned, then the answer is only A. Okay. So, means one thing you have to understand, you have to be very careful. Whether only is there means you have to wait. Incorrect is there, you have to wait. And one more thing, you have to understand some terms, right? What is republic? The meaning of republic is head of the state should be elected. Head of the state should be elected, again either directly or indirectly. Either directly or indirectly. For example, in America, head of the state and head of the government is one person. In America, head of the state and head of the government is one person who is called as president. Hence, we call president as democratically elected republic person. In India, we will call republic as well as democratically elected. Democratically elected is prime minister, republicly elected is president. Why? Because the president is head of the state. So, republic is the term exclusively for head of the state, and the head of the state should be elected. Coming to the question. Identify the correct statements about the term secular. It means the state has its own religion, like Pakistan. It signifies equal respect for all religions. It implies atheism is promoted by the state. So, answer is only B, correct. But again, you know, but still I will repeat. There are two types of secularism. Western model of secularism, Indian model of secularism. Western model of secularism bole to kya? Western model of secularism means where the state will not involve in the affairs of religion. Means I will not offer iftar party. I will not offer Christmas dinner. I will not offer any security for people, pilgrimages who are going for Manasarovar pilgrimage center. Means I am not bothered. If you want to go, you go. It's not by duty. So, state not involving in the affairs of religion means for me every religion is same. I will not involve in church. I will not involve in temple. I will not involve either in masjid. That is the Western model of secularism. Indian model of secularism, I will involve in church. I will involve in masjid. I will involve in temple. I will involve in all the religions, but I will see all the religions equally. That is the major difference between Indian model of secularism and Western model of secularism. To the point, that thing, main point, oh, Western model means they will not involve in the religious affairs. Indian model means they will involve in the religious affairs, but they will look into all the religions equally. A debate is happening. Debate which is unwanted debate. For example, Subramaniam is telling that we have to remove the word called as secular from the Constitution of India. Why? Because it is added in the Constitution by 42nd Constitutional Amendment Act 1976. 3 terms were been added: secular, socialist and integrity. 3 terms were been added. So, socialist, secular is not present in the original Constitution. They added in between. So, those need to be removed. Why? Because it is not present in the original Constitution. This is one debate which is going on. Other debate is secular principles are present in the Constitution under Article 25, 26, 27, 28 anyhow. Just we are replacing or just we are representing it through the word called as secular. So, there is no problem by adding secular word. See, the high probability of getting negative marks will be more in polity. Polity questions will be tempting. Hey, I studied speaker, I know, he stays beside my house only. So many times I studied about speaker. 100% you are going to get negative. If you are tempted means you are going to get negative. Polity higher chance first. Second higher chance is with economics. History very less. Why? Because if you know, you know. If you don't know, you don't know. Geography little bit technical. You have to add little bit science to it. Polity is very much. You will not leave by attempting it. You will attempt it. So that is the danger. We have to be careful with polity only. Consider the statement about democracy. It came into action, came into force. 5th question. Regarding the right to equality in India. 4th question. Consider statements about democracy in India. It is a form of government where the military has the supreme power. Citizens have the right to elect their representatives. It is based on the idea of religious rule. Consider the statements about democracy in India. It is a form of government where the military has supreme power. No. Citizens have the right to elect their representatives? Yes. It is based on the idea of religious rule? No. So the answer is B only. Democracy. Democracies are two varieties, as I told you. Direct democracy, indirect democracy. Direct democracy is the best example is Switzerland or America, whereas indirect democracy, the best example is India. Fifth question. Regarding the right to equality in India, consider the following statement. Regarding the right to equality in India, consider the following statements. Right to equality. Which article? Article 14. It provides for equal job opportunities for all. It allows for special provisions for socially and educationally backward classes. It promotes inequality based on religion. So obviously this is not the answer. So answer is A and B. Equality of opportunities. Equality of right to equality. Right to equality, it can be caste, religion, race, place of birth. Right to equality. Equal opportunities, yes. Regarding diversity in India, consider the following statements. I recommend you, whenever you are writing offline tests, you underline it, so you can divide it. Regarding diversity in India, it refers to the variety in cultural practices, languages and religion. Correct? No. It implies uniformity in cultural and religious practices across the country. No. It includes geographical diversity as well. You tell me whether it includes geographical diversity. If you know what we studied when we are studying about diversity, religious diversity, language diversity, geographical diversity also we studied. So answer is A and C. Here comes the term called as nation state. You have to just have an idea. Nation means a geographical boundary where the people are following one culture is called as nation. In a geographical boundary, within the geographical boundary, whoever are present in that geographical boundary, if they are following one culture, one language, one way of living is called as nation. One geographical boundary, if the people are following one political system, it is called as state. India is a nation state. India is a nation state. India is never a nation state. India is never a nation state. Why? Because nation means what? People who are living in that boundary will have one culture, one language, one way of living. In India, we have one culture. India is never a nation. Why? Because we don't follow one culture, we don't follow one language, we don't follow one way of living. But we are state. Why? Because we have one political system which is located in Delhi. So we are having political system. So India is never a nation state, but India is a state with multi-ethnic communities. Means what? Uni-ethnic society can be called as nation. Uni-ethnic societies can be called as nation. Like Saudi Arabia. The people who are living in Saudi Arabia, they are Bedouins. Their culture is one, their language is one, their way of living is one. So Saudi Arabia can be called as nation. North Korea can be called as nation, but India, America, UK cannot be called as nation. So answer is A and C. Seventh question. Identify the correct statements about the judiciary in India. Its main function is to make the laws. Whose main function is to make the laws? Legislature. The legislature's main function is to make the laws. It is responsible for interpreting the constitution. It plays a role in implementation of the laws. Whose role is in implementation of the laws? Executive. So the interpretation of the constitution is the role of judiciary. Means what? Whether everything is running according to the principles of constitution or not. Every action taken by the executive is according to the constitution or not. Every law made by the legislature is according to the constitution or not, is the main duty of judiciary. So the watchdog of constitution is judiciary. The judiciary will be checking whether everything is running according to the principles of constitution or not. So answer is B only. Why can't we take judicial activism, Vishaka guidelines? It also played a role in implementing a law. So see, here the point is, he is telling that There are some Vishaka guidelines. Vishaka guidelines means which mainly talks about sexual harassment at workplace. In Delhi, in Diwali times, they are not allowed to play with crackers. Why? Because pollution is increasing. So is it not, he is telling that, is it not judiciary is entering into the ambit of executive? Is it not the judiciary is entering into the ambit of legislature? That is called as judicial activism. That is called as judicial activism. But according to the original constitution, the question is, according to the original constitution or constitution, it is limited only for review. The constitution is only talking about judicial review. Constitution is not talking about activism. Activism is what? Which is spreading its leg more than its ambit. It is not present in the constitution, but however it is accepted. Why? Because it is also helping in protecting, safeguarding the provisions of constitution. So it can be judicial activism or judicial over activism is not allowed constitutionally, but however we can also think about when the judiciary is entering into the ambit of legislature, judiciary is also entering into the ambit of executive, it is accepted. But according to the original constitution, the main function is review only. Are you getting my point? Consider the statements about the roles of citizens in a democracy. What is the role of citizen? Roles of citizen in a democracy. What is his role? Patra. They are required to serve in the military. Means compulsory. They have the right to vote in elections. Their role is limited to paying taxes. They have the right to vote in elections. See, it's not a compulsion. They have the right. They have the right to vote in elections. They have that right to vote in the elections. So B point is correct. They have the right to vote in elections. Their role is limited to paying taxes? No. They have the, they can pay the tax, they can also question the government. They are required to serve in the military? No. Why I asked, but there are some countries earlier, not now. Earlier, in Japan, compulsory they have to work in military. Now they removed it. But earlier, when our constitution came into existence, they also have the same provision that compulsory every citizen once upon a time they have to work in, means one point of time in their life they have to work in military. Right to vote. Regarding municipalities, 9th question, regarding municipalities. Regarding municipalities in India, consider the following statements. They are responsible for rural governance or urban governance? Urban governance. They play a role in urban local governance. They are involved in international diplomacy. No, so the answer is B only. So you have to understand here again. This time I am expecting you should know more about that. I will explain you. MPTC, ZPTC, local self-government means we will think only Gram Panchayat. No, local self-government means rural local self-government means, village local self-government means it is 3-tier. One is at village level, other is at mandal level, other is at district level. At village level it is called as Gram Panchayat, at mandal level it is called as Block Panchayat or Mandal Panchayat, and at district level it is called as Jilla Panchayat or Jilla Parishad. So 3 tiers will be there. What is this? So as you know, the Sarpanchs were been elected. Then there will be MPTC. Who is MPTC? From the mandal, from every village, one person will be standing like an MPTC. Every person will be standing as an MPTC. In that way, the MPTCs will be elected. Means from every one village, one MPTC will be there. These all people will be sitting in Mandal Parishad. So one person will be standing means one person will be elected from every village as an MPTC. ZPTC. From every mandal, one person will be elected as ZPTC member for that mandal. So these all people will be sitting in Jilla Parishad. So anything which they want to send to the state government, it goes from Gram Panchayat to Mandal Parishad to Jilla Parishad to state government. MPTCs are the members, representatives of the village. Sarpanch is the representative of the people. MPTC is the representative of the village who will be representing in Mandal Parishad. And For a mandal, there will be one person who is called as ZPTC who will be representing in Jilla Parishad. So in Jilla Parishad, there will be members from mandals. So they will be discussing about the problems which are happening in mandal. Those people are called as ZPTCs, and these all ZPTCs will go and sit in Jilla Parishad. For every village, there will be an MPTC who will be sitting in Mandal Parishad. In that way, there will be Gram Panchayat, Mandal Parishad, Village Parishad. These three together is called as grassroots level democracy. So in your answer also, when you are writing, if it is a mains answer, if you write only about the Gram Panchayat, limited, 50% correct, 50% wrong, it is a combination of Gram Panchayat, Mandal Parishad and Jilla Parishad. Last, about the Indian Constitution, consider the following statements. It was written by a single individual. No. It provides a framework for the governance of India. It contains a preamble that outlines its fundamental values. So answer is, it provides a framework for the governance of the country. How the country should be run, where it is mentioned. Constitution. How the governance should happen, how the country should run, how the administration should run, how the machinery should be run is mentioned in the Constitution. You know, the best manifesto for a political party is what? What is the best manifesto? Directive Principles of State Policy. DPSP, there is no other best manifesto rather than Directive Principles of State Policy, not Constitution. Constitution means full. Directive Principles of State Policy means what? The directions given to the state to how to run the state is Directive Principles of State Policy. In manifesto also they will tell the same, no, I am going to do this, I am going to do this, I am going to do this, I am going to do this. So Ambedkar told people should follow DPSP. Why? Because everyone questioned Ambedkar that, sir, when you made fundamental rights as justiciable, why you didn't make DPSP as justiciable? Why? Because more than the Supreme Court, there is a bigger power is there. What is that? People's power through vote. So they have to follow DPSP. If they don't follow the DPSP, why we have to go to the court? When they go for elections only, people only will not vote. Why? Because the best manifesto is DPSP. Social backwardness, economical backwardness, weaker removal, intoxication, respecting the women, weaker sections, our monuments, international diplomacy, protection of animals, protection of forest, right to education. These things all are present in DPSP. So compulsory, any government should follow it. If any government is not following it, obviously people will not vote for them. So the best manifesto for any political party is fundamental rights, DPSP, preamble, constitution. DPSP. Yes or no? This is about 6th class NCERT. The Indian Constitution provides a governance framework. It includes